Okay, we're going to start with the hackberry. You should have your packet out in front of you as well, going over the highlighted things, but at least you can get a visual of what I'm talking about. The one thing, you have to wait for the tree to get a little bit more mature before you can see the warty bark. Remember the word hackberry? You're just kind of thinking some of the disgusting things like this warty bark, witch's brooms, which is up here in the corner. This is a witch's broom from mites and fungi. Create that with the twigs. And they've also, it's the name, a berry. They've got these berries over here that you don't want to eat. They've got a very hard pit in the middle, probably break a tooth off, and they're supposedly very bitter. Never tried them. The other thing, before we get to the insect galls, the leaves down here in the corner, I want you to see they're very characteristic, their shape. They're kind of lopsided, okay, a little bit asymmetrical. And if you see here, it's taller on this side or it's wider, and then it comes back. So a little bit asymmetrical, a little bit lopsided everywhere, and that's very characteristic. Okay, up here, another thing is the insect galls. These little tiny insects called psyllids are the ones that actually are the cause of all of these insect galls. And it doesn't harm the tree or anything. I think I've got it on. Go to the next slide here. Okay, I'm just going to read all this to you real quick. Follow along. After adult psyllids come out of hibernation in the spring, they lay eggs on emergent leaves of hackberry trees. After the egg hatches, the young psyllid starts feeding, and the leaf responds by growing abnormally. So it's not the insect that makes the gall, it's the actual leaf that responds and produces that gall. That's really cool. It develops a small pocket that surrounds the insect, forming a gall. There is no photo. The psyllid spends the rest of the summer sucking on tree sap safely within the small gall. Several species of gall-making psyllids infest hackberry trees. Infested hackberry trees do not seem to be harmed by these galls, but their abundance makes hackberry trees look pretty ugly. So this is at the tip of a pencil, it says, so it's very, very tiny. Okay, the shagbark hickory. Shagbark hickory is very, very distinct based on its bark. As you see here, it just has this peeling effect. And again, the tree needs to be about 3 years old at least before it starts to shag a little bit. So if it's a young tree, you're not even going to be able to tell by looking at the bark. The leaves, we're looking at something that's a compound leaf, and hopefully you're saying pinnately compound. Something different about this pinnately compound leaf compared to the green ash is, again, how wide it gets and then comes back in. Gets really wide and comes back in. Where if you compare back to the green ash, it's more, like this. It's not a distinct wide right in the middle. So look for that, and usually the leaves are fairly large as well. What you can think of with the shagbark hickory, of course, hickory nuts are produced by this tree. And it says that, I forgot to turn my page. Make sure I get all these highlighted points for you. That they make corn cakes and hominy out of the sweet hickory milk. So this is hominy. I've never tried hominy, so I don't know if it tastes very good or not. But pioneers also made a yellow dye. So, of course, study strategy to get you to remember what the shagbark hickory does. You're thinking of Shaggy and Scooby-Doo. Shaggy has yellow hair, so you're thinking Shaggy, yellow hair, and Scooby. Remember, he eats anything. I don't think hominy is probably very good, but Shaggy and Scooby would definitely still eat it. All right, so shagbark hickory, we've got all of our things. Let's go here. Okay, the sweet pignut hickory. The sweet pignut hickory and the shagbark hickory are very, very similar. Perhaps it does say that they can have a couple more leaflets. Doesn't mean it always does. It says sometimes it will still have 5, which is what the shagbark hickory has. So really, it's very, very hard to tell the difference between these two, except if you are looking at the bark. The bark of a sweet pignut hickory does not peel or shag. Okay, so what do you need to know? Obviously, pinnately compound leaf. And in colonial times, it says that they used to make wagon wheels out of the wood and broom handles. And the pigs, which is how it got its name, a sweet pignut hickory, the hogs were eating all of these sweet pignut hickory nuts. So, you look at the picture, I put them all in order so you would put them all together. You just got to picture yourself sitting here. You want me to draw you in? Look at this. Oh, this is great. There you are. Okay, so you're going to picture yourself in this covered wagon. So it's reminding you of the wheels, and you're holding on to the broom going, yeah, yeah, at this pig who's eating the hickory nuts. It's great. So all of that goes together. Okay. Next slide. Oh, there we go. Okay, the black locust. Black locust, very similar, obviously name to the honey locust. No worries. I'll give you some study strategies so you don't mix these two up. Pinnately compound for the black locust. And if you quickly look at the honey locust, it is doubly pinnately compound. Okay, both of the trees have these very large pods. I don't know if I put it in the other picture. Yeah, there they are. These very large pods attached to the tree with the seeds inside. And the black locust does have thorns, not near like the honey locust. The honey locust is known for its humongous thorns. Okay, so what do you need to know about the black locust? That the Indians used it to make bows out of it. So what I want you to think of right now is this word black locust. I'm going to think of a big black bear because my choices are, black locust or honey locust. So black is a black bear that I'm going to kill with my bow. And these leaflets are bigger, like a big black bear, compared to our honey locust. And honey locust, you're thinking huge thorns. Ouch. You're thinking these tools that the Indians used, and because they have these thorns, they used to make animal traps and spear points out of the thorns. So you're thinking these little tiny, tiny leaflets. You're thinking the word ouch. You're thinking honeybee with a stinger, and that would really hurt. So black locust, black bear, killing it with a bow. And black bears are pretty big, so this is a bigger leaflet. Honey locust, honeybee, very itsy bitsy tiny honeybees, and honeybees have stingers which hurt, and these have big needles that hurt, or they look like little needles, but of course they're thorns. All right, moving along. Okay, the silver maple versus the sugar maple. So you only have 2 maples that you have to know. The silver maple, we have seen so many, very common, silver on the back, venation. What is that? Okay. Palmate venation. Okay, so maples have the helicopters, those fun little helicopters you can throw up in the air, or you can call them whirligigs. And so this is the traditional really wide one. Remember, the green ash had really, really skinny ones. Maple, we can make furniture out of it, but it's extremely light colored furniture. I think it's kind of pretty. Very brittle branches, a lot of breaking going on. And because it's the silver maple, these lobes, pinnately lobed edges, go in really close to the midline. So you're thinking a really skinny leaf. So you're thinking 50% less than of maple syrup and sugar than the sugar maple tree. Okay, sugar maple, we talked about this. It's a very wide tree because it's the one that makes most of the sugar, and it is Canada's symbol. Okay, so this is how you would tap a tree. The sap is simply water containing about 3% sugar that was produced by the leaves in fall and stored in the roots. In spring, this sugar, let me get rid of this. Try to get rid of that. Great. Let's see if I can get it back. Okay, well, I can't read because this is in my way. Okay. In the spring, the sugar is required by the new buds for development. When the new leaves start photosynthesizing and producing sugar, the flow stops completely. So there is a certain time of year where you can do the tapping of the trees. So it just shows the process. It's pretty cool. And this is where you're going to get, it says here in your packet, 32 gallons of sap make 1 gallon of syrup or 4.5 pounds of sugar. So each tree yields between 5 and 60 gallons of sap a year. That is a lot. Now, your maple trees are absolutely gorgeous in the fall. They give you the really bright colors. So they have genetically engineered these trees. There's lots and lots and lots of hybrids out there that they have worked with to make very vibrant colors. And we'll walk past a lot of these. The Amur maple is a hybrid that they made. This what's in front of the school in the Circle Drive. All of those are Amur maples, and they're going to look really gorgeous soon. Oh, you know what? We're done. That's all the ones that I wanted you to know right now. So I need you to study all of those. Make sure you know all the characteristics. And don't forget my awesome study strategies. All right. Have fun studying. Bye for now.